So we just got some super bullish news about the Veveverse. It will be able to be used in Unity as well as Unreal Engine because the Veveverse will be engine agnostic, meaning that it will be interoperable across different gaming engines. Right now, we know that the Veveverse demo is going to be shown at DCon next month in November, and this is going to be very exciting for a lot of people. And in this video, I have a lot of information about what to expect from the Veveverse directly from the team and, what could possibly be happening at DCon. Pineapple Gang. Shout out to the gang. It's Non-Fungible Wonderful, and I'm back with another video. We on YouTube. We learning. And I'm feeling wonderful, man. So let's get into this. Hey, let's get this video to 300 likes. This has a lot of key information about the Veveverse. So shout out to Mr. Gene Mellon. He said, not gonna lie, my expectations are huge for the incoming Veve official Veveverse demo. A lot of people have been excited about this. We have been hearing about this since 2021, and it is coming in 2022. So to see the first ever look at the Veveverse at DCon, this is going to be a major event for everybody in Veve, as well as getting Omi classified as a Metaverse token. The CEO says, Dan says, no pressure then. And, Austin, shout out to Austin, man. Austin She-Man, he said, you got this. Please set expectations. IDK, if it's on Unreal Engine 5, is going to be insane. And I'm curious on how you're going to do this. Hope you introduce avatars. And avatars are going to be a big thing as well. And Dan says that the Veveverse is engine agnostic and ports to Unity, UR, and other devices. So this is great to hear because, when it comes to Veve, this is more of a content creation platform that is following these Metaverse standards. That means that our 3D and virtual assets can be used in other engines. And that means that when Veve does create these NFTs, they are focusing on interoperability. And to hear that this is engine agnostic is huge. I think this might be saying that, maybe certain parts might be, used in Unity, certain parts might be used in Unreal Engine, and there might be cross compatibility with other things as well. When it comes to engine agnostic, it basically means in a computer-based environment, an agnostic approach is one which interoperable across the systems, and there are no prejudices towards using a specific technology model, method, or data. So that's the definition of what he means by that. Right now, when it comes to Immutable X, we see that there are a lot of projects already building on Unreal Engine 5, like Alluvium, Mumbot, who is a Veve partner. It hasn't been officially released yet, but it has been teased. She is also building on Unreal Engine for her project. Also, Wilder World. This is another project that is another Metaverse, and it's also building on Unreal Engine 5. These are all projects using Immutable X. So this is what we can expect with the Veveverse. Very high quality, high details, interoperability. IMVU, this is another partner for Immutable X. They are also building on Unreal Engine. So it shows you that when it comes to Immutable, they do have direct compatibility with Unreal Engine. Also, Austin She may mention avatars for the Veveverse. When it comes to Unreal Engine, we know that they have MetaHuman, which is these very highly detailed avatars that you can create. You can customize them. You can make them look like you. And I think that when it comes to the Veveverse, if we do have this MetaHuman feature, this will really increase, how people use it and interact with it, because it gives that more realistic feel for the Metaverse where people can really make this actually look like themselves. And when it comes to the technology behind Unreal Engine, they have been increasing it where, it's able to render pretty easily. It could go across different devices. They have been making a lot of updates to their systems. One of the new features that's coming to Unreal Engine 5.1 is the virtual assets beta, where it's going to reduce the hard drive space required for the team members, and it's going to be able to sync a lot faster for virtual assets. So to see that, Veve is, potentially going to be using Unreal Engine 5, virtual assets is a new update to what Unreal Engine is doing. This is major news. Also, shout out to Dr. Prophet, because I remember he shared this article about 3D asset interoperability, how there is a metaverse standard that is being developed right now that makes sure that NFTs work across different platforms. And I believe that Veve has been following the standard in order for them to be engine agnostic too. Um, Also, one thing I want to mention is Veve City. You know, the Veveverse has been teased. This image is from a year ago where Noah was saying, you know, the Veveverse is 6 months out. He was saying Veve City, talking about land. And, you know, I already have this clip about how the Veveverse will be modeled, released, and they talk about land. This is from, you know, a while ago. But, you know, because we're about to see it, this clip is going to be crucial. And I have a couple more clips that I want to play after this.
To give you guys a bit of an idea of how the Veveverse is going to be modeled. And just keep in mind that this is going to be a platform that's going to start off with X number of features, and then it's going to grow and develop and evolve like, you know, like all of these metaverses should do. So to start off with, we're going to be, it's all going to be based around Veve City, which is an area where effectively you can do what you do in the app, but in a much more sort of 3D metaverse style world. Within the metaverse as well, everyone will obviously have their own showroom. In this case, it's not really going to be a showroom. It'll more become your sort of house in the metaverse. And there will be things like land and all that you can purchase in the metaverse as well.
Any utility being used in that land, like Alluvium just had an AMA not too long ago. I caught it on Poor Man Printing's, and they mentioned that they would have land where you can maybe mine resources. So I'm not sure if, you know, you guys thought about, hey, we can have land and someone can mine, whether it be a perk to the Master Collector program, like a millisecond off for mining the land, or maybe they're able to mine Omi or stake their land for some type of purpose. Do you guys see that being something possible in the future for utility in land?
So yes, I did. I mentioned just a little bit earlier, maybe before you came on board, that land will definitely be part of the Veveverse. In terms of mining it, probably not, but the land will have various utility of sorts beyond.
So that's another thing about the Veveverse being shown. We're going to see land. And one of the biggest things about land is that 100% of the land sales are going to be done in Omi, and that Omi is going to be burned. So this land sale for the Veveverse is going to cause a huge Omi burning, and this is also going to be a major monetary generation event for Veve as well, because people are going to spend a lot of money for the land within the Veveverse. This is going to be one of the first licensed IP metaverses, and they're going to have a lot of benefits to being in the Veveverse alongside these brands. So I see that this land will be huge for Veve. We saw Alluvium, you know, he mentioned Alluvium in that clip. Alluvium did $72 million in sales, and that's for one game. I believe that Veve can do, you know, half a billion in a land sale, and this really just disrupt the Omi supply in a massive way. Also, I have this clip from David Yu talking about how they're going to release the Veveverse in stages. Shout out to D Largo and Dova Skull, man.
Our version coming out, we will be releasing them in stages. We're still testing and we're still thinking through. What we really want to do is to improve the current showrooms that you have in the Veve app, because that's your space. That's the room that you are the most proud of. We're going to be starting from there, and then we'll start branching it out as we see fit. Veve has a very long vision in thinking of where we want to be in the Web3 space. And sometimes being first there, it's not always going to be the winner in this space. It's all about the thoughtfulness, the community, and the quality needs to be there.
So he mentioned a couple great things. The first thing is the showrooms are going to be the focus in the Veveverse. You know, we heard that from Dan too. I think the first iteration might be around Veve City, but also the showrooms. Imagine if people can come into your showrooms now. You can talk to them within your showroom. You can charge people only to get in the showroom. Them focusing on the showroom part is going to be massive for Veve. He also mentions that, you know, sometimes you don't want to be first. Look at what happened in with Decentraland, where they only got like 40 people going on to that metaverse in a day or in a week. Veve won't have that problem. You know, Veve already has people in Twitter Spaces, hundreds of people talking about Veve. In the Veveverse, this might be a place where people can start socializing and do different things. They already said that Veve City is going to be kind of based around the drop times. So we can see that this will have a metaverse experience where every week people are going to be pulling up to Veve City to do the drop. So it's going to increase the amount of users. And I think that Veve might be one of the first metaverses that really is successful. But like they said, the same way to do everything, they're going to do it in stages. They're going to do it in steps. So they're going to do it in a way that's manageable. People might want them to do a lot more with the Veveverse, but you got to understand that they want to do it right. It's not always about being first. It's always about doing it right. He also mentions that, you know, Atari and Sega, these are companies that when video games first started popping off, they were the biggest. But now you got Xbox and PS4 really taking off, and you don't hear about Atari and Sega like that. And he doesn't want Veve to be like that. He wants Veve to be lasting long. And of course, we all want the same thing. One more clip. This is about the Veveverse. This is when Dan was on, talking about what his vision is. And this should help you guys manage your expectations for the Veveverse. Understand that it is coming out in stages, but the news that we are hearing about it is amazing.
What do you think that future holds for where you guys are going right now?
Yeah, it is an interesting one with the metaverse. Really, right now, Veve is ultimately a content creation platform, you and maybe some of your watchers will know that when we create our digital collectibles, they are always in 3D. So you can view them in augmented reality, you can interact with them. And then this kind of lends itself to moving into Web3 or Metaverse, which is ultimately just a big 3D world, 3D environment. So
for sure,
as that starts to play out, obviously we've got, content that people have already collected. And then really the natural next evolution or step is to take that content and move it into the Metaverse. Now, there are quite a few complications around that in terms of, licensing, where content can and can't be shown. So I think it's still very new for this licensed IP world. But with Veve, really it's about, we'll be taking baby steps into it. We have a vision and an understanding of where we want to go. But the metaverse is still very, very early. So I'm very interested to see sort of how it's going to evolve.
Yeah, and he mentioned a lot, when it comes to the metaverse, right now people are going to see it as this whole 3D virtual world. But, right now there isn't a full metaverse. Right now it has been a buzzword. We're at the very early beginnings. This is going to take off a lot more. But with Veve, they're focusing on it. And one thing I want to mention is that, we did get this news about Unreal Engine, but when it comes to Unity, we know that there can be a lot done with it. And we have seen a couple partnership, talks about Veve and Niantic. And when it comes to Niantic, I want to show their website because they're already talking about building the metaverse and they have these augmented reality experiences. And when it comes to the Veve collectibles, yes, you can pull them into something like Unreal Engine, but we have to understand that it is a AR-based app. So I think that we're going to see a lot more gaming features with some of the NFTs that we currently hold. We might be able to see that there's going to be mini games with Marvel Mighties. And, they have been a whole press run about Marvel Mighties for the last couple months at all of these different DCon events. Imagine playing real time versus somebody. And we know that Veve is potentially partnering with Niantic. But these are the type of augmented reality experiences that Veve can also offer on top of what they are already doing now with the AR, with going into something like Unreal Engine. But I'm super excited about where Veve is going. If you like this video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be back with some more very soon, man. Peace.